same way. Third, pay some attention to the setting that the communication occurs in. Try to eliminate as many distractions as you can. Fourth, time the message properly. Fifth, practice some empathy. Put yourself in the other person's place. Sixth, obtain feedback. The communication cycle is not really complete without it. 7, keep yourself and those around you informed. The more people know, the easier it is to communicate with them. 8, be trustworthy. The people you deal with should be able to bank on what you say. 9, make your actions speak louder than your words. Practice what you preach. Walk the talk. 10, listen. Seek to understand if you wish to be understood. Let's talk for a few minutes about written communications. The ability to write well is directly tied to a security officer's competency in the eyes of his or her supervisor. Writing involves nothing more than the organization of thoughts or ideas in an understandable manner. It's not nearly as hard as some people make it out to be. Here are some things to remember about written communication. First, clarity of expression is the most important element in writing. Be explicit. Get to the point. Second, simplicity of writing style helps clarity. Use short, simple sentences, simple words, and proper punctuation. Third, be accurate. There's no excuse in the security profession for inaccurate writing. Fourth, arrange your thoughts in a logical manner. Using a checklist sometimes helps. So does writing things down in the order that they occurred. Fifth, style counts too. Try to be yourself. Remember that every written message has a beginning, a middle, and an end. 6, conclusions are important. It's your last chance to make your point. Don't waste it. 7, use the format accepted and used by your department. It helps to stay with the program that everyone else is used to. Now, there are 3 reasons why written communications often fail. First, the inability of the reader to tell the difference between fact and non-fact. If it's an opinion, it should be marked as one. If it is a fact, it should be written like a fact and not like a question or a comment. Second, a failure to use the most specific and concrete words possible. Flowery dialogue might look spiffy in a romance novel, but it has no place in an official communication. State your business with as few words as possible and use words that mean what you want them to mean. Third, a failure to support conclusions with factual data. Back up what you say. It adds weight to your point and it makes the point that much harder to forget. Communications equipment. The equipment used by the modern security officer to communicate with a central dispatch center or with other officers just keeps getting better and better. As good as the equipment gets, it still must be operated in a proper manner to be effective. That's why the following guidelines need to be understood, regardless of the type or style of communication system that you're using. First, any electrical device is subject to malfunction. That means that you should test all radios prior to a shift and all telephones at least once every week. Second, if it operates on battery power, make sure that the battery is properly charged. If it's a radio or radio assisted, it has limited range. You need to know what those limits are. You also need to know where those places called dead spots are. Those are the places where a radio signal cannot get in or out due to a variety of reasons. Fourth, no matter the quality of the unit being used, it won't work well if you yell into it. Speak directly into the mouthpiece of a telephone and across the microphone of a radio. Fifth, radios are to be used to convey information, not conduct conversations. If what you have to say will take longer than a 30-second radio transmission, call the person on the phone. 6, when you talk on the phone, remember that it is the link that forms the impression for the person on the other end. That means you need to do the following things. First, identify the location reached, the person speaking, and make an offer of assistance. If it sounds like front gate, Officer Smith speaking, "Can I help you?" then that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Second, take notes about phone conversations and read them back to the caller to make sure that you got it right. Third, thank the person before you hang up. Remember always that a work phone is just that, a phone used for work. Keep personal calls to an absolute minimum. People are going to be calling with problems and concerns, and they're not going to want to hear a busy signal or to have to wait to get through. When things go wrong, people like to be able to talk to other people. Make sure you are as available as you can be. Keep the communications lines open. When things get serious, we're going to have to be able to communicate with one another clearly and quickly. Emergency communications. In an emergency situation, it's going to seem like everything is happening all at once in the communications center. It's not unusual for security officers to get impatient with the comm center because they feel like they're being ignored. Usually, that's not the case at all. Follow these simple guidelines in an emergency and the communications process will go much smoother. First, calm down. Take a deep breath and think about what you're going to say before you say it. Second, key the microphone and count to 2 before you start talking. That gives the system time to fire up and make all the electronic connections that it needs to make. Third, speak in plain language. 10 codes and security slang are fine for regular operations, but should not be used in an emergency. You need to be clear and easily understood. Fourth, after your transmission, wait a moment for a response from the communications center. The dispatchers will be writing things down and hooking up other calls. Give them a few moments to do what they need to do before you start asking them additional questions. 5, be ready to repeat what you said. Don't get upset or anxious about this. Just repeat your original transmission the same way you did the first time if asked. 6, make sure you're absolutely correct about exact locations and conditions. 7, don't be vague about what you see or what kind of assistance you want sent to you. 8, if you hear another officer dealing with an emergency, stay off the radio. Now is not the time to engage in the routine stuff that might happen. The air has to be kept as clear as possible. 9, be professional. Keep your voice calm and easy to understand. Don't try to be cute or flippant. And 10, take notes. Make sure you log times and requests as they happen. It will be needed later to complete the report. Effective communication is going to do a number of good things for you and for the department. First, it's going to reflect on you as a professional. Your reputation is going to be established in large measure by how well you handle the emergencies that might occur in the workplace. Second, people who are around and listening will also make a judgment about your department based upon what they hear. What kind of an image do you want to project? Third, good communication can mean the difference between being effective and appearing incompetent. Information is the fuel that runs our profession. We need good fuel to run properly. Fourth, the communication practices that you employ will impact the quality of the information that will show up on your final report. It's kind of like a computer, garbage in, garbage out. Fifth, our communication practices will determine how well we relate to visitors, managers, employees, and our fellow officers. Good communication is vital to our success. Thank you for watching. I'm Bill Jackson, and I'll see you next time.